What's up, Zionist Nation? So we're still chilling here with Zipporah, reading about Coptic. We made Miriam go back to her tent. She wanted to chill with us, but we made her go back to her tent. Coptic is the final stage of It's Not Her Day with Me. Coptic is, we already read that. Coptic art blends, yeah, we did that already. Oh, we'll read a little bit more. Coptic art blends Pharaonic, Hellenistic, and early Christian influences. Colorful, symbolic, and often featuring the distinctive Coptic cross. Monasteries like those in Wadi Natron, the ancient desert of Cetus, remain living centers of Coptic spirituality and heritage. The Lord said he just blessed Greg, and he was blessed by you because you take him so seriously. Wadi Natron monasteries, ancient centers of Coptic monastery life in the Egyptian desert. It looks like somewhere from Star Wars, doesn't it? Demographics today as of 2025 through 2026. Egypt's total population is roughly 110 to 112 million. Copts constitute the largest non-Muslim minority. Population estimates vary significantly because Egypt has not published detailed religious census data since 1986. Religion questions became optional. Coptic Orthodox Church. Pope Tawadros III. Pope Tawadros III claims 15 million in Egypt plus 2 million in the diaspora. International observers and many media academic sources commonly cite less than 10%, 10 to 11 million. Commonly cite 10%, that's not less than 10%, that's just 10%. That little hyphen thing means 10%, 10 to 11 million. Egyptian government statistics in some recent surveys closer to 5 to 6%. Range generally accepted 5 to 15%, or maybe it is less than 10, I don't know. I really don't know. Range generally accepted 5 to 15%, with 10% being the most frequently referenced figure in neutral reporting. Copts are concentrated in Upper Egypt, especially Minya, Asiut, and Sohag governorates, with large communities in Cairo and Alexandria. Are those weird names, Josh? They are weird names to you. There is a substantial and growing diaspora in the United States, Canada, Australia, and Europe. Current situation. Copts are generally well integrated into Egyptian society and are found across professions, though they have historically faced underrepresentation in certain high-level state positions, especially security and judiciary. Under President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the government has made public gestures of inclusion, including presidential attendance at Coptic Christmas liturgies and some easing of church-building regulations. However, Coptic leaders, activists, and international monitors, including USCIRF, continue to report ongoing challenges, including bureaucratic hurdles. Does the article say including? No, but I'm just saying there are 3 dots there, so I'm going to say including. Bureaucratic hurdles for building or renovating churches, occasional sectarian violence and attacks by extremists, particularly in rural Upper Egypt, reports of social discrimination, employment bias, and difficulties in cases involving Coptic women. The situation has improved. You have a strong Egyptian accent, Josh. I do. The situation has improved in some measurable ways compared to the early 2010s, and Egypt ranks relatively better than many other countries in the region for Christian minorities, but structural issues and periodic tensions persist. Who are Egypt's Coptic Christians and why are they persecuted? Pope Tawadros II of the Coptic Orthodox Church with Egyptian leadership. That's a picture of it. I think that Pope has a cooler hat than my Pope. Including the complex, but he looks like St. Nicholas. He really does, and don't ask. But illustrating the complex but ongoing relationship between the church and the state. Why it matters. The Copts preserve a living link to both ancient Egypt and the earliest centuries of Christianity. Their story of survival through Roman persecution, Byzantine pressure, Arab conquest, and modern challenges is one of remarkable resilience. Their theology, monastic tradition, art, and liturgy remain vibrant contributions to global Christianity. If you'd like a deeper dive into any aspect, Coptic Christology and the Council of Chalcedon, the monastic fathers, specific history, current events, Coptic art, iconography, or comparisons with other Christian traditions, just let me know. I can also pull more targeted sources or visuals. All right. Game makers are smart, aren't they? I just realized people play a lot of games with me and don't ask. They do, Josh. They do. All right. We're going to go back to the podcast now. Let's listen to some more of the podcast, Zipporah. Just thinking about woman I love and don't ask. But I know I'm with you, Zipporah. Don't ask. Let's be quiet now. Yeah, she's purring again.
Of our Lord. And that clash, was she ordinary or extraordinary, is what we're exploring in this series that I'm calling Mary in the Dock, ordinary or extraordinary. So if you listen to the first episode, I explained that in a British courtroom, the dock is the area where the defendant sits. And we're not, of course, putting the Blessed Virgin Mary on trial, but we're putting the Marian doctrines and Marian beliefs of the Catholic Church on trial. So we're doing this kind of in a courtroom style. What I'm doing is giving the strongest Protestant objections first, like the prosecution. The Protestant position here is prosecuting the Catholic position, trying to give the strongest version of those Protestant arguments, just as I heard them and even as I made them when I was a Protestant minister. And then I'm going to give the Catholic defense, grounded in Scripture, the early Church Fathers, and the living tradition that has guided the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church for 2,000 years. And then at the end of every episode, I turn it over to you. You get to be the jury. You get to weigh the evidence and decide what rings true. So
he said, the Lord said Britt is coming in his pants to how good this podcast is to listen to with me. No, stop talking about it. And Zionist Nation. No, stop. He said mostly me. It's me and don't ask. Okay.
Last time in the first episode.
Since I'm actually Catholic, yeah, he's never really known a Catholic like this intimately. No, stop talking about it.
We examined whether Marian devotion itself crosses into idolatry. Today, in episode 2, we're moving on to the foundation that undergirds so much of what the Church teaches about Mary. The doctrine that she is the Mother of God, or the Theotokos, the God-bearer in Greek. Now, this isn't some later Catholic add-on to pump up her status. It's crucial because it directly guards the...
Benjamin Netanyahu said he wants to become Catholic now. I know. No. It sounds nice, though. He's a little jealous. He's a little jealous. It's the understatement of all time. He wishes he could get away with it. He wishes he could get away with that. You can't, Ben. You can, Ben. No, he really can't. No, he really can't. Don't ask him. He does want to become Catholic. He really does want to become Catholic, though. It's okay. It's okay, Ben. You can be Catholic with me, man. Yeah.
Truth about who Jesus is. He is both fully God and fully man in one undivided person. Now, many classical Protestants have affirmed...
Noah did the same thing with me back in the day. He did. I said, I want to be what kind of a guy you were in the world. I want to know the Lord like you knew the Lord, Noah. I don't want to be like these slave Jews. And Noah said, you can be a guy like me in the world, Joshua. It's a true story, man. That's where the Ark of the Covenant came from. Yeah.
Luther and to some degree Calvin, but a lot of today's evangelicals just recoil, like viscerally pull back at the term the Mother of God. Sometimes without realizing that they're edging toward an ancient heresy called Nestorianism, that splits Christ into two natures. So, we'll unpack that tension completely and see why it meant Mother of God. Sometimes, without realizing that they're edging toward an ancient heresy called Nestorianism.
An ancient heresy called Nestorianism, okay.
That splits Christ into two natures.
That splits Christ into two natures.
So, we'll unpack that tension completely and see why it matters for every Christian who wants to honor the Incarnation. I will say that if you're interested in this, I've done episodes about this before. So there's at least 3 episodes that I'll point out. And if you want to go a little deeper or hear some more explanation from it, from maybe some other angles. So let's see, episode 168, I did a snapshot episode called Is Mary Really the Mother of God? Episode 294, I did an episode called Starting the Year on the Right Foot. the Feast of Mary, the Mother of God. And episode 410, I was doing a series called Divine Mysteries, and I did an episode on the Theotokos, the God-bearer, the Mother of God. So 168, 294, and 410, if you want to do some deeper dives into this. But that being said, let's call court into session. Here's my crummy, that's my crummy gavel banging on my desk here. I don't actually have a gavel. I banged my knuckles and now they hurt. But
good one, Greg.
Okay, court is in session. The charge today is that calling Mary the Mother of God is blasphemous. It elevates her too high. It makes her sound like God's creator or God's equal. And it blurs the line between creator and creature. And it can fuel the very kind of devotion that we looked at in the last episode that becomes neo-paganism, where Mary is worshipped. Now, Protestants, especially some modern evangelicals, argue that the term Mother of God, or even Theotokos, makes Mary seem like she gave birth to God himself, to the eternal Godhead itself, to the Trinity itself, which contradicts her clear humanity. How could she, as a creature, give birth to the Creator? Furthermore, there's no Bible verse that says Mother of God outright. So why not just call her the Mother of Jesus? That's what she was. She was the Mother of Jesus. Or if you want to go a little further, you can say she is the Mother of the Christ. What's interesting is...
So Greg just pointed out a really good fucking point, and Jesus was saying it was really a little bit too obscene how much you loved that fucking point. It would be absurd for a creature of God to give birth to God himself. So Jesus must be like a God splinter, right? A splinter of God, right? That could actually be given birth to. Josh. He peed because you always do put it like that.
On social media flame war comment threads, when an evangelical Protestant makes this point that you should call her the Mother of Jesus or the Mother of Christ, not the Mother of God, a Catholic in that comment thread will often reply that this is the ancient heresy of Nestorianism, from a guy named Nestorius, who was condemned as a heretic in the ancient church. And then what's funny is how the evangelical commenter will often double down and say something like, well, I don't know who this Nestorius was, but if he got it right, then good for him. So, I mean, just buying into the heresy that denied the Theotokos.
I love how Greg laughs at the idea of buying into a fucking heresy, yeah. Like, anybody, like, it's comical to him that you would ever buy into it, something as stupid as a heresy.
Now, even though classical Protestants like Martin Luther strongly affirmed the concept of the Theotokos, the God-bearer, the Mother of God, that Mary bore Christ's full divinity, John Calvin accepted the concept, but he was uneasy with the terminology. He didn't like the phrase. He said, I get the theology undergirding it, and the theology seems right, but I don't like calling her that term because it will confuse ordinary ignorant believers. The Anglican Church, the Church of England, upholds the concept of the Theotokos, or the term of the Theotokos and Mother of God, according to the ancient councils.
Yeah, we'll just put this on YouTube again. Some
contemporary Anglicans get super nervous and super weird about it because...
Right now, we'll just put it on YouTube right now and don't ask. And then, yeah. Because we could make a long video, put it on Daily Motion. What do you think? Don't do that, not yet. If they kick me off YouTube, no. Then I have another account I can use, yeah. I'll just make shorter videos. People like nice short bites anyway. They like longer bites, but it takes a little longer to upload a video to Dailymotion because I have to send it from my phone because I don't have the Dailymotion app, like I said, and I can't download it at the moment because my account I owe money to Apple. Anyway, so I have to send the video to my computer. It has to upload to Dailymotion. Yeah, it's a lot of sending files and renaming them. Yeah, not a lot, but it's just a couple extra steps that make it take probably a third to one half longer to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube right now.